A new year always brings a lot of changes, so it's important to check in on your children's mental wellness and your own as well.
And joining us now for more is Rebecca Dutson, the president and CEO of the Children's Center Utah. Welcome back, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Let's remind folks about Children's Center Utah. What does your organization do and what are you about?
Thank you so much. We provide mental health treatment to really focus on enhancing the emotional well-being of infants, toddlers, preschoolers, and their families and caregivers.
And so with that, this is also a great time to check in with your preschooler, your toddler, and also with yourself.
It really is. You know, January, whether you set resolutions or not, I think it's just nice to take stock. And so as we're reflecting on our own mental health, we want to think about that for our children too. And some ways that we can go about doing that really start with that mindfulness piece, being aware of our bodies and the emotional changes that we may be experiencing, checking in with ourselves to acknowledge our emotions and our feelings and to really feel them for a minute, and maybe just taking that moment to close your eyes and think about your feelings, even if you can't identify them right away.
I'm so glad that we talk about this in 2024 because when I was growing up, there was no such thing. I'd never heard a term of a mental health day or checking up on my mental health. You just power through and you show up and you don't miss anything. And now things are different. So with raising my own kids, I've had to give my second grader a few mental health days over, I don't know, just the last year of his life already. And so it's a work in progress for me to know that that's important and to figure out how to do it. But I'm so glad that we know we should and can do that now.
And that we're talking about it, and that we recognize that really young children have mental health. They experience challenges with their mental health the same way we do as adults. And so being aware of that really is so important.
Rebecca, this is a time where we've both had trouble getting back in the routine and everything is a little bit chaotic, but it is great to say, how am I feeling? What am I doing? And then check in with your little ones as well. But you have some tips on ways to check in, because it's one thing to ask and say, how are you doing? But how do we check in and make sure we're doing okay?
Yeah, well, and I think practicing mindfulness is just kind of a basic being present and aware of our emotions, our thoughts, our feelings, our bodily sensations. As we're doing that, we're regulated. We're in the moment and we can be more present for our children to be aware. You know, and then just thinking about, you know, as we're reflecting on that, what is really happening with our kids during the winter months? How are they feeling? I don't know about you two, but I'm certainly impacted. It doesn't feel as easy to get outdoors, but that's one of the things that we can do is create that list of winter activities. Those
hiking, sledding, skiing, walks in the park,
or
walking
just
outside.
Even in your own neighborhood, but then making a point to do it every day with your children if you can. You know, together as a family or with your grandkids, whatever that might look like, but get on those clothes and get out there.
Work on that for sure.
January is hard though. Like you do have to work a little bit harder. I read something that said January is the Monday of all of the months. It doesn't feel like that,
the permanent Monday.
Just forcing yourself a little. You say get outside anyway, just for a little bit every day, and that always does boost. It boosts endorphins, and you're not going to regret that you did.
No, and it's opportunity to interact and be together. So
I like that. Commit to time outdoors, even if it's 5 minutes. You say arrange for virtual connections.
That's right. And we learned so much during the pandemic. On those days when we can't get out and maybe our kids need to be together with someone different than us, we can arrange for that virtual visit. And so let's use the technology and the things that we have at our fingertips to keep our kids connected and engaged.
Keep it maintained. Maintain the connection. Okay, talk about your jewelry luncheon Thursday, March 7th.
Yes, we're so excited. This is coming up. It has been sold out for a number of years. So we are moving to a new venue. It's at the Grand America.
A good problem to have. You're getting so big, expanding, and that means we need people to come.
That's right. And of course, people can purchase their tickets now. We're also looking for people who are cleaning out their their closets and their jewelry boxes. We accept donated jewelry of all kinds, and we need volunteers to help us sort it and prepare for the luncheon.
Wait, so how does it work though? You're buying jewelry and it goes to the Children's Center Utah?
Yes, absolutely, to help us provide services for families who might not be able to afford them.
You might need some new jewelry.
We might. And at the Grand America, one of the most beautiful spots in the
It's
city.
amazing.
Oh, childrencenter.org. Follow on Instagram and Facebook as well. And save the date, Thursday, March 7th.
Rebecca, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Children'sCenterUtah.org.
Thank you. All right, we'll be right back.